Good morning students. Today we are going to discuss topic food purchasing control. This topic is taken from the unit 1 food and beverage cost control and the subject is food and beverage controls and management. First we are going to learn food purchasing control. Responsibility for purchasing. The responsibility of purchasing can be delegated to anyone in the food service operation depending on organizational structure and management policies. Control process and purchasing. 4 steps in the control process apply here. First is requiring that standards and standard procedures be established. Second is that employees be trained to follow those standards and standard procedures. And the third is that employees' output be monitored and compared to established standards. And the fourth is remedial action be taken as needed. Food purchasing control. Perishable and non-perishable. Perishable are those items, typically fresh foods, that have a comparatively short useful life after they have been received. Should be purchased for immediate use only as they deteriorate quickly. Non-perishable are those food items that have a longer shelf life, often referred to as groceries or staple. They may be stored in the containers in which they are received, stored on shelf at room temperature for weeks or months. They do not deteriorate quickly. Developing standards and standard procedures, establishing control over purchasing, and ensuring continuing supply of sufficient quantities of the necessary foods, with each of quality appropriate to its intended use and purchase at the most favorable price. Standard must be developed for the quality of food purchased, the quantity of food purchased, the price at which food is purchased. Establishing quality standards. It is important first to determine which perishable and non-perishable food is required in order to produce products of consistent quality. Thus, it is important to draw up the list of all the food items to be purchased, including those specific and distinctive characteristics that best describe the desired quality of each in a written description, also known as standard purchase specifications. It is usually based on federal grading or common market grading. Establishing quality standards through standard purchasing specification to determine exact requirement in advance for any products to purchase according to specification to prepare several different items on the menu. They eliminate misunderstanding to have standard competitive bidding. They eliminate for detailed verbal description to facilitate checking food as it is received. Establishing quantity standard. Quantity standards for purchasing are subjected to continual review and revision, often on a daily basis. Perishable item. The correct amount must be purchased to avoid wastage. A basic requirement of the purchasing routine is to take daily inventory of perishable. The routine requires that determinations be made of anticipate total needs for each item based on future menus and often on experience as well. Establishing quantity standard. Non-perishable items does not present the problem of rapid deterioration. They do represent considerable amount of money invested in material in storage. The goal here is to avoid excessive quantities on hand through proper planning. The ways to maintain inventories of non-perishables at appropriate levels. Most are variations on two basic methods. First is periodic order method and the second is perpetual inventory method. First, we are going to learn periodic order method, a method for ordering food or beverages based on fixed order dates and variable order quantities. The calculation of the amount of each item to order is comparatively simple. Amount required for the upcoming period minus amount presently on hand plus amount wanted on hand at the end of the period to last until the next delivery is equal to amount to order. Periodic order method orders for non-perishables are placed every 2 weeks. One of the items ordered is crushed tomatoes purchased in cans, packed 6 cans to a case. The item is used at the rate of 7 cans per week and delivery normally takes 5 days from the date an order is placed. If the steward in this establishment found 9 cans on the shelf, anticipated a use of 14 cans during the upcoming period of approximately 2 weeks, and wanted 10 cans on hand at the end of that period, the calculation would be 14 cans required minus 9 cans on hand plus 10 cans to be left at the end of the period is equal to 15 cans to be ordered on this date. Both delivery time and daily usage for the period must be used to determine the DEI. Furthermore, it is advisable to include some additional quantity to serve as a safety factor just in case the normal delivery is delayed or business volume is higher than expected in the coming period. For the example given, the calculations for DEI would be as follows. Daily usage x number of days in delivery period is equal to normal usage. Normal usage plus safety factor 50% is equal to DEI. 15 cans per week divide 7 days is equal to 2 cans per day. 2 cans per day multiply 5 days in delivery period is equal to 10 cans normal usage. 10 cans normal usage plus 50% safety factor is equal to cans DEI. This is known as the reorder point in the perpetual order method. Establishing quantity standard. Perpetual inventory method to ensure that quantity purchased are sufficient, not excessive, to provide effective control on stored item for the future. The reorder point is quite simply the number of units of which the supply on hand should decrease before additional orders are placed. The par stock means simply the maximum quantity of a given item that should be on hand. This helps to storage space, limits on total value of inventory, desired frequency of ordering, usage, purveyors, minimum order requirements. Establishing quantity standard. Reorder point is calculated in the following manner. If normal usage is 14 cans per week and it takes 5 days from date of order to get delivery, then the basic number of cans needed is 10. However, because delivery may be delayed, because usage may increase for unforeseen reasons, or because both of those possibilities may occur at once, it is advisable to increase that amount somewhat. The amount of the increase is a matter for management to decide. For our purposes, we will use 50% for all calculations. If that were so in this case, the reorder point would be set at 15 Ks. Under the periodic method, the DEI would similarly be calculated as 15 cans. Par stock 20 minus reorder point 15 is equal to subtotal 5 plus normal usage until delivery 10, then is equal to reorder quantity is 15. Establishing standard for price. The availability of sources of supply varies considerably from one location to another. It depends on ownership policy, availability of supplies, and general market condition. Supplies can be chosen from wholesalers, local producers, manufacturers, packers, local farms, retailers, and the last is cooperative association. Perishable. Because prices for perishable often fluctuate daily, it is necessary to find the price from different suppliers through telephones. And the non-perishable, normally with fewer suppliers with lowest price and consistent quality with small quantity and delivery wise. Centralized purchasing. This is usually used in chain operations and occasionally established by small groups of independent operators with similar needs. Advantage of centralized purchasing. Purchased at lowest price because of volume. Desire quality as agent has greater choice. Obtain exact specification. Larger inventory ensuring reliable supply. And the last is dishonest greatly reduced. Disadvantage of centralized purchasing: little freedom for its particular needs, no advantage on local specials at a reduced price, and the last is limiting changes of menu.